Now, a lot of things that I'm going to be saying in this video are going to sound really nasty, so brace yourself. Well, one of the things that I'm going to give you as advice is that in order to become someone creative and to design unique elements, you have to have a lot of experience with the world, talking to people and just seeing different situations. You can see them in movies, right? In manga, anime, and whatever you're going to create, it depends. Like you want to make a visual novel, a walking simulator, a story driven game, you get it. I like to focus on story driven games, right? Games that have a great story. I'm not saying that they have bad gameplay or whatever. I'm just saying that that's my main focus to help on the story and on the character personalities, their development, the world building, all that. And I have been through a lot in life and I've seen a lot. And I think I have a decent understanding of what are good things that you can do and what's bad stuff. For example, politics. You should never include modern day politics in your video games. Never. Bad idea. Bad. And I'm not going to say that just because you included modern day politics in your games that they're just never gonna succeed. They have, some have, but at the end of the day, that's a recipe for failure. Like, it's going to be very rough. People want to go to a fantasy world, whether it's sci-fi or whatever, and they want to escape reality. They don't want to face reality, but in video game form, or in manga form, or in comic form. No, they want to experience unique characters in unique worlds, or even if they're human and realistic, they want to experience really interesting situations in a different world, right? As in not the current one. And yes, you can talk about current day stuff and subjects, but if you have as a focus for your story, like if you're focused on telling a story about the modern day world and it's heavily political, for the most part left leaning, then it's going to be a bad story. It's going to be a bad story because it's going to be really annoying, really preachy, and you're going to look like you have an agenda, and you have one. So it's just going to be a game where, okay, so the left good, the right bad, all men bad, all this. Now, conservatives can also make games and things that are, how do I put it, too political. Like, oh, Christian good, and everything that's not Christian bad, right? Or whatever you want to name it. Because a lot of conservatives, they are, well, Christian and religious. And I'm not saying there's anything wrong with being this or that. I'm just saying, whatever's in your game, in my opinion, the best thing to do is to leave your audience decide what they like, what they enjoy. If they like a villain and they think the villain is cool and whatever, awesome. Just leave them, enjoy them. Oh, but they're the villain. You're not supposed to like them. Yeah, no, you're supposed to hate them. No, they're just a villain. They're trying to get in the way of the protagonist. But a lot of the villains in media are really likable. They're charismatic or they're really interesting. They're unique. See what I did there? Because they were made by really creative people with a lot of interesting ideas. Um, so I'm not saying that you have to create supermodels, but you should create characters that are appealing to some extent. If the protagonist of your video game is just, you know, and I'm gonna be rough here, so bear with me. Trigger warning. It's like a fat guy who's like a coomer, right, and lives in his water basement, then it's not gonna be something really appealing, right? Or something that people are going to enjoy, is it? Unless it's like a comedy or whatever. We're talking about stories that are serious. Oh well, but maybe no. But if you push that character to be like really awesome and something you should look forward to playing as or whatever, and you're taking it seriously, it's complicated to explain, but you'll get it as you start experiencing more and more media. Me, for example, I hate stereotypes, and I will clarify that everything is stereotypical to some extent, but I hate really, really extreme stereotypes. Oh, this character is the black dude, so he's the token black dude. Like, ah, shit, and he starts like, hey, yo, what's up, my dog? He starts making jokes, and he speaks like this. That's really like, oh, and he likes certain food and a certain drink, right? Get what I did there? Then I'm just going to be like, I don't care. I don't care anymore. Oh, it's gonna make a Mexican character, amigo, and they're gonna like chimichanga and burrito. I'm just gonna. I'm good. I'm good. If it's a real serious story that you're trying to make and it's not comedy. If it's a comedy, oh look, Mexicans do this and these other people do that. Okay, I get it. South Park does that a lot and other media, and that's fine. If it's a comedy setting, but I'm talking about serious stuff here. And a lot of people they just make stereotypes. Well, in the inverse way to make a point. Well, all women in our games are really bulky, really super jacked, and they love monster trucks, right? And they love to beat people up, and they are really loud, and they yell a lot, and they swear, which is a toxic stereotype for males, by the way. And our boys, they like to play with Barbies, and they want to be princesses, and they're like femboys. And I'm joking. They're not really like femboys. They're like overly effeminate, and they're like sissies. Oh, and they like to wear makeup, and they're like, ah, yes, slay, queen, yes, and they speak in this really effeminate way. Like that's gonna turn people off because that's really extreme. Now, are there people like that who go to the extremes? Rarely, but normal people don't behave like that. If you're going to make a story and you're designing a gay character, it is fine. You're designing a trans character. It is fine, but don't make them just, oh, what's my personality? I'm gay. I like boys. I'm trans. So who am I? Am I a man or a girl? Like, just they just happen to be trans. Oh, wow, nice detail. Let's just have okay, and then you can move on. And yes, you can talk about struggles that trans people face and gay people face, but if you push it too much, people are gonna be like, okay, I get it, you're preaching, you're the victim. Like, people are gonna get annoyed. Real talk, real talk. So what you have to do is just present them as normal people. I enjoy a lot of shows, a lot of media with gay characters, with trans characters. You wanna know why? Because they're just, oh, they're gay and it's fine. They're like, oh, I'm LGBTQ, and I didn't know who I was. No, they just happen to be gay dudes who like are chill, and they're cool. They're badasses, and it's just vibe. Oh, I'm gay. Yeah, whatever. I like dudes. Yeah, so what? But they had different, unique personalities. They're like not one-dimensional. Oh, I like boys, so I'm gonna speak about boys all the time. Oh, I trans. Did you know I'm trans? So I support the LGBT like that because like just shut the fuck up. Like real talk. Just make likable characters. Right? And don't force it. Oh, my story has to have a trans character. Oh, there we go. No, make whatever you want to make, but as long as they have personalities. Like, oh, in media, all gay boys are like super effeminate and they protect me. I need women to protect me, and the women are like huge. Okay, I'm gonna protect you, dog. Don't worry about it. Female power and shit. We was queens. And that's gonna be like, and I seen a lot of media like that. You're like, oh, you're making fun. No, I see a lot of media like that. A lot of that. And a lot of times people don't really notice that it has a lot of politics into it, and that's just. And there's nothing wrong with like tomboys or like guys who are like feminine. There's nothing wrong with that. I'm not saying that if you make a male character that happens to behave in a feminine way, that you make a cock, an incel, and this and that. No, but just make them be interesting. Just make them interesting, right? People come in different sizes, different races, different all that. But people don't want to be like, well, this is a male, so he swears, and he loves sports, and he's fat, and he just sticks to the TV, and this is like a female, super smart, intelligent, perfect, beautiful, yes, Queen Slay, like super awesome, really like fantastic and beautiful and sexy and strong. Like, see what I did there? It's just annoying. It's just annoying. Um, Romantic stories and non-romantic stories are fine. Maybe there's a lot of members in your audience who want and romance, and romances are really complicated to make because to have characters that have chemistry and it doesn't really feel forced is really something that's hard to come by and hard to design. Like when you're making romance, and it's complicated to explain too. The audience needs to see, yeah, I think they're gonna end up together because it makes sense. They get along, they have great chemistry, they have amazing times together, they're like amazing friends. I love seeing them together, so you're gonna be thinking like, yeah, it makes sense. Of course, I'm not saying, oh, everything your audience says, just do it. But like, if they make a good point, then maybe you could have those characters, you know, dating, or maybe you were thinking about that. Oh, this guy and this girl, oh, they get along and all this, and they will look great together. So yeah, let's do it. Let's make them be a couple. But if there's no couples in your game, that is good. If there's no action in your game, no fights, that's good too. Whatever you make is good as long as the story is unique, as you're someone creative and you're designing something that's really interesting. The Amazing Digital Circus, right? Really interesting story, really unique characters. Sure, you may be like, oh, they're stereotypes. Well, not really. They're complex. They have layers. Like Jax isn't really just an asshole who likes being mean to people. He has some trauma and some things that change his personality and his perspective. He's complex, right? And Kinger isn't just, oh, he's crazy. Yeah, he's crazy. He's a crazy guy who says nonsense. No, he also has a lot of trauma, like with his wife, right? He's a really wise and mature man with a lot of interesting things. They are not one dimensional. And as your story progresses, you're going to see them develop more and you're going to learn more about them. And you're going to root for them. Or you're going to end up hating them. You get it? But you will be invested. You'll have your favorites, and that is fine. As long as there's a character in the story you really enjoy, or two characters, then I count it as a success. And the Amazing Digital Circus is so colorful, and the animation is superb, the music is catchy, and it's unique. It is unique. I have no idea what's gonna happen. I'm like, I don't know what's gonna happen. I mean, I do have an idea, and hopefully that idea is wrong. That the next episode is going to be heavily political, and it's going to be really modern with its politics. Hopefully that's not the case. But at the end of the day, I could be wrong, because they say that the next episode, episode 7, is going to be controversial. But I just gave you an idea for that show. Yeah, you may say, oh, well, this show isn't really edgy and whatever. Like, it's a bit tame. But I find it interesting. I find it unique. A lot of people love it. And it's just not mainstream just because, oh, a lot of people love it just because. No. If people love something in huge numbers, then you did something right. Right? It's not like, oh, people just love the first episode and they stopped caring. No, they care, constantly care. They're like, it has a following, right? Obviously, my favorite character is Jax because, like, I think he's cool, and I don't know. I think he's really. I like characters who are flawed and who have unique backstories, and maybe they get redeemed, or maybe you find that a lot of people kind of really get redeemed, but they remain broken. I didn't think much about what I was going to say about Jax, but you get my idea. So yeah, this video is going to be real long. So buckle up. And at the end of the day, you don't have to force yourself when you're writing a story or drawing characters, whatever it may be. You could be a writer and an artist at the same time. You just have to think of something that's going to be special. Does it have the it factor, right? And I repeat that in this video I'm talking about story-driven things. Okay? Like visual novels, I repeat myself. Walking simulators, and I'm saying that in that way because yeah, whatever. Deal with it. You know, manga, comics, whatever. So, and you need to think in an organized way if you can. If not, well, go nuts. Because, and I'm going to go back with the Amazing Digital Circus. The creator, Goosework, they already planned the whole story. They already said everything. Okay, this character is gonna get an episode where it's gonna focus on him or her, right? Their development, and this is going to happen the next episode, which is going to lead to this, to that. You need to have your story already laid out with your chapters or sagas or whatever. You're not gonna be like, oh yeah, I'm gonna just see what happens on the go. Like, oh, I'm making my game, and every day something comes to my head when it comes to the story, and I just include it. I'm just random like that. Because people are going to be like, what happened? Did the writers change? Because this is inconsistent. Characters are acting inconsistently. Like, there's inconsistencies when it comes to the world building and this plot point. Like, people are going to notice. Now, you're going to make mistakes, and no matter what you do, you'll make mistakes, period. But the less mistakes you make, the better. And I'm someone that gets involved into the whole world building and all that character design aspect a lot. And people they sometimes suggest ideas to me that I'm like, this is like, this has been made before like 20,000 times. This is really like, I don't think it's good. I think this is a bad idea. For example, a long time ago, um I someone suggested something to me. I was working on a video game that never launched. It happens, right? And someone was like, "Oh, the game was supposed to be really dark, like really edgy and stuff, really violent, and it's going to be about something post-apocalyptic." I don't remember all the details, but it was going to be like a shooter, like a top-down shooter or something like. It was going to be a shooting game. I don't remember all. It was going to be like those arcade shooters, like Smash TV. It was gonna be like Contra and all that. It was gonna be really arcadey, 2D. It was gonna be 2D indie game, right? And the characters, they were going to have really deep backstories. They were dealing with abuse, right? A lot of stuff related to drugs and sexual themes, and I'm like, I don't know. I was in charge of, designing the characters, and I was in charge of, well, their whole personalities and, well, the whole story. I was in charge of all the narrative when it came to that game. And then one of the people working on that game, I don't even remember what that dude did, if I'm to be honest. They suggested to me, what if we make a character that's just gonna be obsessed with girls? That's gonna be like Sanji from One Piece, and he started laughing. I'm like, bro, what? Yeah, he's just gonna be like, oh, yeah, and he's gonna be like making like weird noises, and he's gonna be like really annoying, and he's just going to simp for all the girls and try to like get with them. And whenever there's like a female character that he's interacting with, he ignores everyone, and he's like super goofy. And I'm like, well, does he have development? What's his like story? No, he's just a goofy character. I found it funny. Yeah, but I don't really like. And I'm not saying Sanji from One Piece just sucks, but like he wanted for me to include a character that was going to be just the worst qualities of Sanji. I just obsessed with girls like, oh, Nami-chan, Nami-swang, and all that. That's just, for me, I find that cringe. If I'm to be real, I find that cringe. I don't find that funny. I don't find that interesting. I find that to be cringe. And I don't know, like super edge lord. Like, there's a lot of cringe stuff that I find interesting, but that's just cringe with no interesting stuff. At least the way he was describing it, right? And that part of Sanji, I do find to be like, oh, see, that's the comedy, haha. He's really into girls. For me, I don't really see it. Now, if you like Sanji, you find that hilarious, all power to you. But going back to the whole thing with the dude suggesting that, I'm not saying that he was suggesting something that was like Sanji. I was saying that he was suggesting like an extreme version of Sanji that had no personality. That there was all a character that, ha ha ha, I'm obsessed with girls joke, and that's it. That's it. Wait, I'm gonna get a sip of water. And yeah, that was it. And he said no, and he got angry at me. He was like, oh my god, yeah, you hate One Piece, you hate this. No, I'm not. I'm not going to include that. I don't think that would be good. That would suit the game. Maybe we are making something comedic and stuff, but this is a serious game. Oh, but it won't have comedy. Yeah, but a character that goofy is gonna feel like it doesn't belong. Gonna feel forced. You get what I'm saying? Like, no, it's gonna feel out of place. Like there's a lot of episodes with the Teen Titans Go where they make fun of serious characters, or well, what they may perceive as like overly serious edgy characters, and the joke kind of works because they don't like, it's a just goofy comedy thingy, the whole show Teen Titans Go. So when they're, oh, I'm super edgy, I'm Batman, I'm this, they're gonna make fun of it, and it's the job. My brain melted. Now, okay, here we go. The joke works, right? You may not find it funny or whatever, it makes sense. But this, it was just having a goofy character that's like one dimensional, that's just a joke character just for the sake of it. And the idea was to suddenly give him a lot of protagonism. I was like, I'm not gonna do that. That's goofy. And yeah, I just said no and whatever. And that's not the reason why the game did not launch. Like, a lot of people weren't really passionate, and they didn't really want to work on that game, even though they were getting paid a decent amount. So you can say, oh, it was because of payment. No, it just didn't want to do it. And yeah, that was one of the examples of people that, well, they're not very creative, right? Oh, I know. I'm gonna make a character that's gonna be like Naruto. Oh, I'm gonna make a character like Goku who loves to fight. And he's goofy. Ha ha ha. No. People are going to hate your character. Dragon Ball is different because Dragon Ball has like a lot of, people that respect it because it's their childhood and all that, and transformations. And it was something unique, something special back in the day. But if you make something that's like Dragon Ball, people are gonna be like, it's just a copy of Dragon Ball. Like, do you have something original? Oh, here they're gonna fuse. Yeah, yep, saw it. Yep, there we go. Like I don't know. I guess I'm just being all over the place, but I'm just giving you my real thoughts. Real talk. So I'm not saying, oh, make your story super edgy, super like, oh, serious. You can make comedy, you can make, but there's a time, there's a place, right? There's structure. Of course, in a lot of the games I work on, there's a lot of comedy, a lot of jokes. I worked on a lot of games that are like, well, just funny games. They're supposed to make you laugh. You're supposed to, make you turn your brain off and just enjoy them. To be like a pleasant experience. And there's nothing wrong with that. But yeah. And if you are thinking, well, that character that's like Sanji from One Piece could have worked. Nah. People will probably hate him and find him annoying. Because he had like no personality. Like all his personality was he's obsessed with girls. And he never talks to guys. Or he's like, he doesn't pay attention to anything that guys are saying. So like you think that, I mean, that's funny because it's cringe, but it's more pathetic in a way. So anyway, at least in my opinion. Like I said, there's a lot of things in this video that are going to be my opinion and a lot of things that are going to be facts. So you can judge for yourself what is a fact and what is an opinion. I'm not gonna tell you. A lot of things is cursing. Cursing, well, if you had your character swearing all the time, it can work if you're like doing something comedic, but if you're doing something serious, then it's gonna kill the whole vibe. It's gonna be annoying. It's just gonna be loud and obnoxious. And there's no point. Oh, you're talking about Hasbin Hotel, Hello Babas. Yeah, I am, for example. But not only that, there's a lot of shows who do that. It's just those are the two main ones that come to mind. Well, they're made by the same girl, but still. Uh, and what else? Well, as I said before, or I don't know if I said it, depending on the game or whatever you're making, if you're making something like a shonen, like shonen manga, where there's a lot of characters using like powers and magic and fighting, then sure, you don't need a really good story. Like, you could make an anime, really good animation, like One Punch Man. And I'm not saying that the story behind One Punch Man is bad, but it's not like super complex. Like, you have heroes, right? And they're fighting villains, and the animation is really cool. The characters are really unique, right? They're really colorful. They have these powers and stuff. And then there's Saitama, who's like a joke, right? Oh, I'm so strong, I'm invincible, and all that. It works. It works. It really works, right? It's really interesting. It's a unique thing. And yes, I'm not saying that One Punch Man is just jokes and games. It does have some serious moments, but for the most part, it's a joke. It's satire. Like, if you can't tell, then try again. But yeah, and even if it wasn't satire, like, oh, it's a fight and transformations and giant monsters, so your story and your characters don't really need to be that awesome, that really complex. I'm not saying that they can just be one dimensional. I mean, give them some, layers, make them a bit, more interesting than the average, but you can kind of do, like, you can kind of focus on the fights and for it to look really entertaining. For people to just turn their brains off and just enjoy a good spectacle. And there's nothing wrong with that. That's not inferior or superior. That's just a different form of entertainment. Now, for the most part, I like, and I love Dragon Ball, right? I love Naruto. They're my childhood. But for the most part, I enjoy stories that are interesting, that have really engaging characters. Now, I'm gonna give you an example, right? And You can say what you're going to say is fine, but Overlord, right? It's a show that I like. I like a lot of things about it. And I don't really pay attention to the stereotypes or the fan service. Like, that show has some characters that are really good, like really nice. A lot of characters that get like really next to none when it comes to screen time. Like they get nothing. They just appear for like one, two, three episodes and then they're gone. But they have these stories, these personalities, these developments that are just so awesome. Like I love what that series does a lot of time with their side characters, right? And the whole development, the story, and a lot of that, right? And sure, it has a lot of cliches. It has a lot of stereotypes. But there's a lot of things I really like. Like, and I find that to be a series where you can learn a lot from characters. Now, at first sight, it may look like, oh yeah, this is a just fan service, just random like power fantasy. In a way, yes. But when you think about it, there's a world, there's characters, there's different races, there's like a plot when it comes to like there's players or like these gods, and it is interesting. Like it is an isekai, right? Anime, novel, whatever, graphic novel. But a lot of, I'm not saying that I love Overlord or is the best thing since sliced bread, but I like a lot of things about it. Like it has some really mature subjects and really interesting themes. It has a lot of comedy and goofy stuff, but it has a lot of stuff that I like, a lot of stuff. One of my issues with Overlord is that it's a bit rushed. Well, I've been very rushed. If it fleshed out like in a better way, a lot of the themes and characters, I would really adore that series. But a lot of the ideas that Overlord has are great, are genuinely good. You may be surprised. Like he has a lot of serious moments, a lot of serious things. Now, to be fair, there's not a lot of series that I dislike. I like One Piece, right? Oh, you said about Sanji. Yeah, I mean he can be annoying. Like let's be real, he can be annoying. Like, I'm not saying that I don't know if most people, but there's some people that are watching this that may find Sanji annoying. Now I like Sanji. He has development, like with his family and all that, and the whole marriage arc, and he's fighting with Luffy and all that. Like Usopp, right? He has development. Zoro, Nami, and all that. They all have development and their whole sagas and arcs. But I just don't like that, and I don't like the fact that Sanji a lot of times he's just a joke. Like he doesn't like do much in fights. He just I don't know. He's just there to like make some jokes. Oh, let me swan, let me this. Oh, he's drooling over girls, and then he gets beat up, and then just like I can't take him seriously. I can't care that much for him. I can kind of do sometimes, but yeah. Anyways, moving on to another subject. I may haven't I may have not been very specific about the Overlord thingy, but you'll see. You don't have to read the novel. Just watch the anime. Just give it a shot. You may not like it and whatever, and it's fine, but you may like it. Like I see a lot of people they judge things, and I get it. First impressions are extremely important. I know this better than anyone. Like you make a story, ta 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 ta, or a game or a comic. What's the first thing that people are going to take a look at? Well, the title screen or the cover or whatever, and they go like, "Oh, it looks good. Oh my God, the design, the art. Oh," and if it catches their attention, they're gonna read it. Now, a lot of people are gonna drop it or stop playing or whatever, but a lot of people are gonna stick with it and they're gonna become fans. They're going to look forward to what happens to the developments, right? And that's how it goes. But first impressions, bro, are like everything. Now, I'm gonna give you more insight or like tell you more about like the whole stuff with Overlord. Overlord, my first impressions were eh. I didn't really like. It's not that I didn't really like the designs. I was like, oh, it's an isekai. I don't know. Yeah. oh, and it looks like, oh, he has a lot of like fan service, which is nothing wrong with that. But like, I was like, I'm not really in the mood. But then I saw it, and I fell in love with a lot of things that it does. I like the movie, like Sacred Kingdom. I like that movie a lot. Like, there's a lot of dialogues and things in that movie that are like just, oh, pure cinema, pure cinema. Like, I don't know, it's just like Overlord. Maybe I'm goofy for liking it. Maybe I'm not. Like, and see this, the things that I'm criticizing, I'm not really naming. And it's just, oh, because you're scared of the dislikes or stuff. Because I really don't want to. I don't feel like I haven't really given you samples, specific samples of things that I really don't like or bad things, because they're all over the place, and you know them. I know it, you know it. Whether you like it, you love it, everyone knows. So, but it's whatever. I can give you samples of good things, right? Now, going back to the main point. Oh, so that does that mean that you're going to, when you're helping with stories or giving suggestions, you're watching Overlord and they're like, aha, I'm gonna take this from Overlord. No. No, but I can enjoy it and it can be nice and it can teach me some things about characters and world building. Like, I don't take direct things from shows, media, video games, all of that. It inspires me to put my mind into motion. It makes me happy, it makes me excited, it makes me passionate. So I start thinking like The Sims 4. When you do a lot of stuff, they get like these special emotions. They're like, oh, I'm feeling inspired, I'm feeling romantic, like based on what you do. That's kind of how I work. That's how people work, actually, and it's not just me. When you're listening to a really good song, you're happy and you're inspired. You feel the groove, so you want to do things. So a lot of different people have different things that help them. For example, when I'm doing something, I'm writing or I'm just helping with ideas or I'm just taking care of stuff, I like to listen to music. Music, I cannot do things without music. Now, I think that's people for the most part, but I seriously, I can't do, I have like, I become mentally blocked. Without music, I become retarded. So I need my music, bro. I need my music. Not like all kinds of music. But anyway, this isn't about this. But music has a lot to do with art. And remember that if you're making again the soundtrack or an anime. Now in manga and comics, you really don't have to worry about that because you're gonna read it. All you have to worry about is just the drawings and the story. Well, when it comes to media, visual novels, walking simulators, what about the music? Does he have a music track, or is the title screen music really good, really appealing? Is have like good animations? It's really like, because I don't know. Like I said, I'm going back to one of my previous points. First impressions. The soundtrack has to be memorable. A lot of the my issues when it comes to the soundtrack, and I'm going to go back to Overlord. Oh my god! One of the things I love about Overlord, the openings and the ending. Oh my god, bro. Like, this should just be named Me Simping for Overlord, the video. Even though, as I said, there's things I hate and things I like. 50-50. I just find that show very intriguing. But the music, oh my god, the themes. Oh, and the art. Oh, baby, in the openings and it's just, I love it. I love it. My personal favorite, the the third ending. So good, so nasty. And the second ending. Oh my god. Cinema, cinema. See, that catches my attention. A lot of times I just want to watch Overlord just to give me an excuse to just indiscriminately just listen to the music. Because I listen to the music, right? I listen to the opening, and then I'm like, okay, well, can't you just listen to those songs on YouTube or download them or whatever? Yes, I can. Can you just look at the openings? Yeah, but I just like I listen to the opening, and then immediately I just, before I notice, I already watched all the seasons like for the 30th time. So that's a lot of what makes something have a soul, become interesting. Music, right? I help people do a lot of things: music, drawings. Uh, 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 for the most part, I work a lot on writing. You know, maybe programming here and there. You know, who knows? I don't know. Maybe, maybe not. But those things, you know, it's just you're gonna have a soundtrack in whatever you're making, and it's just gonna be just generic. Just yeah, it's just that, especially like for sad scenes or emotional scenes, if you have a soundtrack that really like forces quote unquote uh emotions from the player because it's giving them cues and it's really good, really nice, dun dun dun, dun with piano and all that. That's gonna make scenes better. That's gonna upgrade. Now a lot of people they like, oh, I like my scenes without music. No, bro, I like my stuff with music. I like music. Like I love music. And if there's like an emotional scene, a happy scene, an adventure scene, a fight scene, I want music for God's sake. That is my opinion. If you don't like to have music on emotional scenes because it feels like you're forced to cry or to react based on the music, and then it feels really unnatural, yeah, you have a good argument. But I love music, so fuck you. What else can I say? Because at this point, I'm just yapping. Just don't force it. Like if you become really successful, um, and you want to make more because oh more money, but you only had plans for like a season or two, like you can extend based on what you're making. But don't force it. If you really don't, if you really feel like everything is concluded, right? Because I see that happen with a lot of shows. Or if you feel that, for example, I keep yapping, but I'm gonna give you an example. You know what happened with Game of Thrones? You know the books, oh, they weren't finished and blah blah blah. So they had to make up a season or whatever, or stories and shit. And what happened? I'm swearing a lot. Wow, my bad. Language. What happened? Well, it was a complete garbage. It was failure. It was rubbish. It was just poo poo, pee pee, caca. Why? Because like they were forcing it. They're not that fat dude with a beard. R Jenkins. I know it's George Martin something. I don't really remember his name. I should know about Game of Thrones. I don't know about the fat dude with a beard, the old dude who made it. He's okay. He's all right, I guess. He made something that people love, so he's cool. Um, but yeah, if only they waited or they just finish it like that. Oh, it will be inconclusive. Yeah, but they forced it. Therefore, they kind of killed the show. Like if a show has a lot of great seasons, and then oh, I don't know what to do. Leave it like that. Leave it like that. Leave it like that. Don't force it. Don't force it, my brother. Don't force it, my brother. Just keep it like that. Just finish or whatever and just don't ruin it. Because the worst thing that you can do for a show is for it to have a forced ending and forced seasons. Like for example, with the game I'm working on, right? I already know what's gonna happen. I already know when the story's gonna finish. It's a long story, a huge story, but I only have a certain amount of ideas and things for that game. And if anything goes beyond that, then I can't really help because I have a start, right? I had the middle point and I have the finish, the end, right? Like the beginning, the middle, and the end. The points of a story, right? And after the end, then I'm good. I'm Gucci. I'm just, yeah, we already finished the whole story, so yeah. Oh, but it's super popular, selling millions and millions, which hopefully it does. But yeah, and you had to make more, more, more. Like what? So it becomes soulless slop. Like so, it just we're just making things to earn money, and yes, we all are. We all want to make money, make writing or drawing or living or just being musicians or living. I get that, and that's completely understandable. But there comes a point where you're like you did everything you could when it comes to a specific area, a game or a comic or whatever, and then you had to move on to the next thing, right? You had to. And sure, a lot of times you'll be recognized just for one project, and whatever you do afterwards won't really implode. Like, for example, the dude who made One Piece, he made like a samurai thingy and whatever, and it didn't really work. But One Piece worked, right? Oda, that's the guy who did it. And Toriyama, who made Dragon Ball, he made some other stuff which didn't really work that well. I mean, they was successful and stuff. But then he made Dragon Ball. It's like, oh my god, wow! And whatever he makes after Dragon Ball, like it won't compare. It will not. It will be inferior because Dragon Ball was something that changed the whole world. It changed the universe or whatever. Far out, dude. Same with the dude Kishimoto, the one who made Naruto. He made something like, oh my god, ninjas and all this and that. And then if he tries to make something different, I mean, there's Boruto, but at the same time, that's kind of in the same universe. And yes, now Naruto is way more popular, but you get what I'm saying. I'm not really necessarily talking about sequels. I'm talking about making something besides what you make. And then there's people like the lady who made Inuyasha, Sailor Moon, who made Ramna, Rama, Ramna. My brain's farting. You know what anime I'm talking. Ramna. How do you pronounce it? I'm farting. But yeah, that lady who's married to the guy who made Hunter x Hunter. Oh, the guy who made Hunter x Hunter. He made Yu Yu Hakusho. He made Hunter x Hunter. He made two things that were insanely successful. You could be one of those, but a lot of times you're gonna make something that's really successful, but just don't be like, oh, I was the guy who worked on this, because people, for the most part, they're not gonna care. Trust me, they're not gonna give a single fuck. And yeah, now I'm gonna swear. Screw it. Um, oh, I work on Naruto and now I'm working on this. Nobody cares, bro. Nobody cares. Is the thingy that I'm watching good? Is it enjoyable? Then I don't care. So yeah, I'm just yapping and whatever at this point. Like I said before. Mm. I have a story that's gonna have a pilot thingy episode, or like, well, just an overall pilot. Then we're gonna have uh the whole exploration of the world building, like where we really start to get into the nitty gritty about the characters, and then we're gonna get to where real stuff that starts happening. Maybe we're gonna include some backstories. We're gonna talk about the past, about certain characters, maybe in a spin-off or something, and then it comes to an end, right? But first of all, oh, I forgot. Now, and this is going to be the conclusion because I'm getting tired. Remember when I was talking about how do I put it? I was talking about first impressions, right? This may sound risky, and it is, but at the same time, it is something to take into account. A lot of the times, the start of a story, you may have a very interesting event or something really shocking that happens that's gonna captivate the audience and it's gonna make them want to know more, right? Maybe you can use that as a catch. Maybe I'm gonna give you just a random example. Maybe your story starts and someone dies or someone does something really out of nowhere. Oh, random, but not necessarily just random. Just, oh, unexpected. Or you subvert expectations. You're like, oh, this is all a cutesy game, and then it turns like into horror and all that. If you don't really like do it in a goofy way, then it could work. Like Doki Doki Literature Club is a visual novel that basically became the mother of all Western visual novels because oh, it's like a well, spoilers I guess for those who haven't played it. Oh well, it's like a cutesy game where you do just boring stuff. Oh, and then it becomes like they break the fourth wall, and the characters are self-aware that they're in a game, and a lot of dark stuff starts to happen. Oh, and that's get people hooked. They're like, oh my god, wow, look at this, wow. And there's also a lot of really interesting things that happen throughout the game, especially the ending, right? That has a lot of people hooked. And that is special. That is something that I don't know for Western visual novels. That wasn't really something that you see commonly. And now, if you want to make a project like that, then you're gonna have to be very careful not to copy it entirely because, well, and you're going to be judged by being compared to Doki Doki Literature Club, which is what it is, my brother. And I think I spoke about it in one of my past videos about if you make something really unique, really groundbreaking, then a lot of people are going to compare different things to what you make. And well, there's gonna be competition, there's gonna be negative comparisons, positive comparisons, you name it. There's gonna be a whole lot of things. Um, if you make a story that's similar to Hunter x Hunter, you're gonna be, oh, but Hunter x Hunter is way better. This is just a bootleg, a clone, a crappy clone, a pirated, at-home version of Hunter x Hunter. This is just garbage. Watch Hunter x Hunter if you want a story with this, blah 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 blah. And yeah, I'm going to make this long video because I'm gonna be really busy. I don't know if I'm going to be uploading. Probably I will, but just in case something happens to me, tell my mother I love her. Yeah. Um. Now, before I go, and yes, I said I was gonna conclude, but you know me. I like to yab. I love to yab. Blah 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 blah. My favorite kind of game isn't necessarily narrative games. I like just to play online games, but you can like something and you can like to work on something. That's really different. Like, yeah, a lot of people that love Metroidvanias and who love fighting games, they want to work on fighting games. Totally agreeable. But a lot of people are like me, who are like random and goofy. I love narrative games, but I don't really play narrative games that much. It's like some of the actors that are like amazing actors, and you ask them if they watch their own movies or they watch their acting. You watch yourself on screen? Never, never. And they do such amazing acting, right? They're humble, I guess. But anyway, I guess I don't know. But you get that's how I am. Now, do I play the stuff that I help with? Yeah, I have to because I help with play testing and all that. But me personally, of course, when my game comes out, if it becomes something, I'll have to see the videos. I had to see people like criticizing it. Even though I say my game, I keep saying like it's my baby. It's not my game. It's a game I'm working on. I'm not the owner. I'm not the producer or whatever. I'm just a guy helping. I mean, sure I do stuff, but still, and it's gonna be really interesting. Um, yeah. I mean that's what it is. My brothers and my sisters. So yeah, at the end of the day, this video is just me giving opinions and facts because I love facts. And yeah, I think that is it. Peace!